Okay guys, again, this is James. I am a student. I am not a professor or a TA, so if I get this wrong, I apologize. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong, because I have the answer key. But yes, the word of the oh shit, this is sideways. I mean, oh snap, this is sideways. Anyway, so don't, if the professors say differently, take their word over mine, okay? Mine over here is practice problem B of, I believe this is 8.4 on page, where is it? This is on page 276. The question asks, determine the masses of the products in the combustion of 11.85 grams of a compound with empirical formula C4H10O. So the first thing you should know, or the first thing that should come out, is that this is a combustion reaction, which means that whatever compound you have here, you should be adding oxygen to it, and you should be getting CO2 and water. So if I were to write it out just as it gives me, it's C4H10O plus O2 turns into carbon dioxide and water. But this is unbalanced. We have 10 hydrogens here, okay, we have 2 hydrogens here, we've got 3 oxygens, we got 3 oxygen, okay, that balances, but we have 4 carbons and 1 carbon here. So I took the liberty of just balancing that out. I recommend actually just doing this from scratch, because this one was actually kind of tricky. Just keep in mind you have an oxygen here and you have an O2 here, so you might end up with something like 13 oxygens on this side. But keep in mind you could still do 6 O2s and add this oxygen to get 13 on this side. So anyway, moving on. So essentially, the first thing I would ask, given that this is a balanced equation now, is if I have 11.85 grams of a compound, whatever, how many moles do I have? How many moles does this represent? I mean, for this test in general, what I've noticed is if it gives you grams, you should immediately be thinking, how many moles do you have? So here we have 11.85 grams and however moles. How do you find out how many, moles this is? Well, first you need to find out, well, how many grams is 1 mole of C4H10O? So this is what I did. I did 1 mole here, okay? So I know I have 4 carbons, so at least 4 moles of carbon, okay? So 4 moles of times 12.01, that's the molar mass of carbon, okay? Plus 10 hydrogens, that's 1.008, plus 16 for the oxygen, okay? So total in 1 mole of C4H10O, I should have 74.12 moles, okay? So that's great. How do we then find out what, percentage moles is this? Well, it's easy. We just take this and divide it by 74.12. So if we do that over here, just set 11.85 of C4H10O times 1 mole of C4H10O over 74.12 moles, we'll get 0.159876 moles. Now, you don't need to bring it out this far. I'm just paranoid. I like to use a lot of sig figs. As long as my answer has the correct number of sig figs, I really don't care, okay? So, and keep in mind that they gave us 4 sig figs on the top, so our answer should have 4 sig figs, okay? So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, so I know how many moles of this I have. But if I know how many moles I have of this, don't I also know, using the molar ratio, how many moles of, let's say, carbon dioxide I have here and how many moles of water I have here? So if I had 2 molecules of C4H10O, I should have 8 molecules of CO2 and 10 molecules of H2O. Likewise, if I have this crazy number of C4H10O, the amount of carbon I have is going to be 4 times that, because I have 4 molecules, or 4 moles of carbon for every 1 mole of this C4H10 sorry. So if I take 0.159876 and I multiply that by 4 and divide it by 1, I mean, that's a formality. This squiggle is just this compound. I didn't want to keep writing it. And then, so I should, at this point, from here going this way, I should have the total number of moles of CO2. So from there, then, you multiply it by the total grams, this should be 44.01 grams, and you should get 28.14 grams of CO2. But over here, for water, it's the same exact thing. So I set up this, I know how many moles of C4H10O I have. I have 5 moles of water for every 1 mole. So you can see that here, 5 moles for every 1 mole, okay? And when I set up this whole thing, I should be able to get from here the number of moles of water. If I multiply that by the molar mass of water, I get 14.40 grams of H2O. And those are your 2 answers. Those are the 2 products that you should be getting, are these 2 right here.